Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Till the Wheels Fall Off podcast. I am one of your hosts, Spice from SpiceLifeTv, and
I'm your other host, Creed, who you guys affectionately know as Pookie. Glad to be here. And this is a weekly podcast that we have that talks about relationships
and reentry.
Yes, indeed.
And the reason we chose those topics is because that's our life. If you followed us from before on our YouTube channel, you'll know that we did a series called Love After Lockup, and that was following my journey with my husband through his incarceration, and then also when he was coming out of incarceration and how he was kind of acclimating back into the society, as well as how I was acclimating back into society. So we did the Love After Lockup series, and that has just ended. And so we have a lot of interest. People are giving us a lot of love, showing us a lot of grace, and asking questions and wanting more information about us as a couple or how we got through different things. Mm-hmm. So we thought we'd keep the party going.
Yeah, people definitely been interested in our life, and so
Isn't
we're giving
that
it to them.
Cool?
Yeah, it's very cool.
And it's interest in such a positive way.
Yeah.
Like I'm really shocked at how much interest there's been. But I'm grateful.
You're shocked?
I'm shocked at how it came so quickly.
We're dope.
I think I agree with that.
That's just what happens. Par for the course.
So we wanted to start this podcast and continue the fun with you guys. And so, of course, you know, the Spice Rack. Y'all, we've been rolling for a minute. And I figure y'all will start with the Pookie Pack, too. I don't know what y'all's sign is going to be. Because the Spice Rack know when I come on, I be giving them a little...
Yeah, we'll
doing that little salt bay.
Okay. Put some syrup on your forearm, so if the salt hits it, it just gets stuck there, and then you can't do that. How about that?
Why? What are you going to do for your Pookies?
My Pookies?
Yeah, what's your Pookie Pack going to be?
We'll figure that out because we do it collectively. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a selfish person. I don't just do it on my own. I do it with...
I did it with them too.
Oh, I'm not speaking on you. I'm just saying overall. I'm just not a selfish person.
And I don't know if you remember, but you named the Spice Rack.
I do remember that.
I came up. Well, I wanted a name, and he came up with the Spice Rack because he was actually talking about my personal rack. But I thought it was dope because, you know, me being Spice, y'all being the Spice Rack, because I feel like the way that I do well with being on camera is because of the feedback and just the, you know, the banter that we have in the comment section and just getting to know the Spice Rack. So I figured they're all my little seasonings and they need a place to be. Gotcha. And this is where the Spice Rack is held, right here. Yeah. All my little seasonings. So.
And you got a good
Aren't
crew.
They?
Yeah, you got a crew.
They're so amazing. And you guys have been so just wonderful, very welcoming, very understanding. You've been giving me different perspectives and just like hope and happiness, and I'm rooting for a few of y'all that are in similar situations. Like, it's just dope. I just really have enjoyed it.
Appreciate the love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're surprised at how much you liked it too, or how you surprised at how well received you've been.
Yeah, you've been relaying to me some of the, you know, comments and reactions from people and whatnot, and I appreciate it.
I try to relay them all, y'all, but you know.
Yeah, you know. But that being said, it's been an experience to be home and have, you know, this much love shown to me and not really have done anything to get it from the Spice Rack. Mm-hmm. So I just want to return the love and give it back to y'all, you know what I'm saying, and just say I'm happy to be here and give you guys anything I have to give. It's yours. So
we're happy to have you, babe.
I appreciate it.
Welcome.
That's what's up.
All right, so it is 2022 when they'll see this first video.
It will be 2022.
You guys can see we are right in the holiday season. It is before the Christmas season, but we wanted to go ahead and make sure that these videos was ready because we got a lot of things going on ending this year out. Mm-hmm. And we've had a lot going on this last year. So it's interesting that the year started very kind of uncertain, and then it's ending in the most certain way. Yeah. My brother is getting married this month, and so we're going to be out of town the next couple weeks. And so we didn't want to be rushing and miss the hype and the buzz, and we want to give you a good episode. So this is shot early, but it is talking about what we will be doing going through this next coming year, but we also want to give you a little bit of a recap of what we went through this last year.
Yeah. It's a cold year, y'all.
We want to set our intentions for a amazing year coming because we did have a wonderful year. I mean, despite all of the weirdness and the ups and downs, 2021 was a blessing.
It was. It wasn't bad at all. It was just a lot of experiences that we weren't used to. So a lot, I don't even want to say uncertainty. It was just a lot of like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
And when you're in that space a lot, sometimes it could, it can mess up time, and you kind of get a different perspective. But it's been a blessing, the whole thing. The whole thing's been a blessing, and we had to remind ourselves of that because we were just so tired of being in an uncertain space.
Yeah.
About our everyday life, but now we're good and we understand it.
We're getting there.
God's giving us clarity.
Yes, He's definitely giving us clarity. Okay, so let's just start back. Last January, 2021. I automatically go back to January of 2020. It's like last year kind of and 2020 just roll into one to me.
Okay.
So it is a little hard to specify what happened in January. But what I can say is I know that we had just had a trailer early on in January. Correct?
Correct.
Or was it the end of December? Oops, I got lipstick on you. Sorry.
It was... Man, that's a good question. When was that last one?
I think it was mid-January because we were then hoping that we got one for our anniversary, and then we were like, how many more do we have until you come home?
Yeah.
So what we knew is that he was going to work release in sometime in July. July.
Of 2020, yes.
Of 2021. This year.
No, 2020. I went in July 2020.
Oh!
And did 6 months and got out.
See, I'm melting.
February of 2021.
It's all together. Okay.
You want me to do it?
Please.
Okay. So we had a trailer visit when I was still incarcerated in January of 2020. And the pandemic hit shortly after that. So there was a lot of uncertainty about when I was going to come home and whatnot. And long story short, I ended up coming to work release, getting out and coming to work release in July 30th of 2020.
Okay, yes.
And then I had to do 6 months there, which I released February of 2021 and came home.
Okay. So we start January 2021. Okay, now I remember. Sorry. So January 2021, I was getting ready for you to come home. That was when I was like, remember I was cleaning the house. I was supposed to be cleaning that room out. That room still ain't clean. Y'all know, if you've been watching the vlog, you knew that I was planning to clean that room out.
But you did clean it and it got re-dirty.
That's right. In fairness, I cleaned it out and then it just got re-messed up again. But so I'm planning for him to come home, like totally nesting, totally buying him clothes. I think y'all saw the vlog where I took the package of his clothes to the prison for the last time. Yeah. That was my last drive down there. Like, there's just been all of these things that have been coming. Oh no, that was before that. I'm all over the place.
That's all right.
It's been 2 years of weirdness.
You haven't talked about this at length, so it's going to come out. Yeah, it's going to come out a little jumbled at first, so that's understandable.
Excuse me, y'all. And so coming off of that, y'all will remember too, if you watch the vlogs, which if you haven't, please check out our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, like I said, and now we're moving on to the podcast, but you still can watch us on YouTube and where you watch or listen to your podcast.
For sure.
However, coming on to January, we just finished the holiday season. So exactly a year from today, this is in December, we just got from finished Thanksgiving, where it was very tragic because, for one, he was still on work release. They were on a pandemic lockdown, so he wasn't able to come home on his outings or his socials like he was supposed to on work release. We were supposed to be able to spend several times a week together and him spend time at home like a whole day. Yeah. But because of the pandemic, they shut all that down. So I didn't get to see him for Thanksgiving. I only talked to him one time that day because, unfortunately, the night before, while you were at work release, another resident had committed suicide. Yeah. And so that, on top of everything with the pandemic, of course, they shut everything else down to investigate that and to check things out. And it was just... That
was a day. Now, don't get it twisted. I mean, somebody lost their life, so of course that's the most tragic thing.
Of course.
But and being home, being out, and it was like the first Thanksgiving, and we was trying so hard to do everything by the rules so that I could go home on the social for Thanksgiving. Didn't happen. And then this happened, and then I ended up having to be in my room all day because that investigation was going on. The police was there, so I was just spent Thanksgiving in my room.
He did.
At work release.
And that was like the first time since you've been at work release that I think I had a full meltdown in front of somebody else. That was like my breaking point, because I just felt like he's home, but he's not home, and I'm getting nothing from him or able to see him or anything. So then we go from Thanksgiving and go right into Christmas, and pretty much the same. We didn't see each other, couldn't spend the day with each other. If I talked to you, but not very much. Like, it was worse than if he was actually still in prison. Yeah. I would have had more connection and opportunity with him if he was still in prison. So,
and the fact that I'm right down the street,
you can't
even see each other, that was also bad. But you know.
So that was a hard thing, like going into 2021, and we're just like, you would think that I would just be so happy because I know that it's ending, but the way that it had been ending, I was so unsure and just a little scared, and also like, is this gonna just keep being our story, that we just keep having all these bumps? Like, nothing's easy. We can't seem to catch a break. But y'all, February came through, and we finally caught a break.
February 17th came through. February 17th. Here's the particular about that. On February 17th, 23 years ago, I was arrested. And then February 17th, 23 years later, which is 2021, I was released. And very rarely does that happen.
Never does that happen, ever.
Same day, the exact same day. And so, I was released. I came home. They put the ankle bracelet on, so I had the home monitoring. I had to stay in the house unless I was approved to go somewhere, but it didn't even matter. The DOC people came and they drove me from the work release home. When I came home, it looked just like this. When I walked in the door, it looked just like this.
That's right, it did.
It was February 17th, and Candace Spice had kept all the Christmas decorations up from Christmas all the way until I came home, so I could experience Christmas that year and wouldn't have to wait a whole nother year. When I walked in, there was presents, there was a tree, there was lights. Were you playing Christmas music that day, or were you playing gospel music?
Oh, I was playing gospel when you walked in the house.
You was playing gospel music. It was just that whole atmosphere, and this place was like lit up, and it was just festive, and it was comfortable and cozy.
It was nice.
It was the dopest homecoming.
I don't know if Pookie will let me, but I have footage from that day because I wanted to have that for us. And there was a couple parts in there I probably wouldn't even be able to share because the song is will be copyright. But when I tell y'all that moment of when I saw him walking across the yard, and the moment I saw the car pull up that he was in, like,
that was dope.
I could cry about it right now. Like, I could cry right now. Like, just thinking about, like, the fact that it all happened right here, not even a year ago. And, like, you were home, babe.
Yeah, it's dope. All right, so, mind you, I never been in this house. Never walked into this house. And I only seen pictures of it inside and out that she sent me when I was inside. So when they drove me to this place, I'm looking for the house. Mind you, you let me know that it was on the corner. So we came from that way, and we came from that way. I'm looking for it on the corner, and I couldn't find it. I was like, where are we at? And then I didn't see it till we pulled up. When we pulled up, I looked to the right, and here it was, the same picture that I've been seeing the whole time. This beautiful house. I felt like it was over.
Oh, you did?
I did. Like, I didn't consider, all the other stuff that came with it, the ankle bracelet that I was about to have to put on, but I was sitting in that car, and I was sitting outside my own home.
Your home.
I was like, it's over. Like, it's done. So we came in. I think you were just, like, hella excited, but at the same time, I could tell you it just cried a little bit.
No, I hadn't cried. Well, no, that's true. You're right. I had cried. I was crying because me and God were literally having a moment. Like, I was praying when he was on his way here, just like not knowing what's coming. Like, Lord, please just have me do what you need me to do. Put me in the right positions, have the right people come and talk to us, like just set us up for success. And I was just like praying, like, let me be ready for this. Like, help me to make sure I'm a good partner for him, and I hope that he's a good partner for me, and like us cohabitating. Like I was not nervous in a scared way, but just because it's new. And so I literally was praying, and I was praying, and I need to find that song because the song came on its own. All in His Plan. PJ Morton's All in His Plan came on. And when I tell you that song, I know God played it then because for one, I'd never heard it before. I'd never heard that song before, and he had just dropped the album at the time. It came on randomly because I had it just playing PJ Morton songs, and I heard the song, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good song. So I stop in my tracks, I put it on repeat. And so all morning, I'm just like praising God, crying, thanking God that this is ending, and getting ready for him to come home. And then he shows up. I'm like literally here having a moment, like, thank you, Lord. And I see something drive past, and I look out the window, and my heart was just like, he's here. And you'll see me on the video, like I'm running there, and then I'm running back here trying to like figure out, do I know that, let him know he sees me? Like, are we playing this game, or am I just gonna jump out and run? And I was just like,
you came out.
Okay.
Yeah, that was dope.
It was so perfect. He comes in the house. Of course, he has the two ladies that are bringing him here. And I just hugged him, and I held on to him, and of course cried. And they were nice enough to just let us have a moment. Mm-hmm. Because it was like 20-something years, and I had not seen him outside of those walls in that long. And it just was such a surreal...
It was surreal for me, too.
Oh, I'm having a hard time holding it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was surreal for me, too. It was completely dope. Like I say, walking in here, and I know... from being incarcerated and watching my friends get out that most of them don't come home in situations like this. So I felt extremely blessed that day and have been ever since, because even the ones that do get to come home the way I came home don't always end up like I've ended up months later. Yeah. Like, I'm just being honest. So when I walked in here and she gave me a hug, I felt the same thing that you felt. Like, it was like, not let it all out, because we did have people that were here from DOC, but it was just like some of that had to come out. Mm-hmm. And so we just had a moment, and we just hugged it out, and I just held her, and she was crying, and I felt like crying, and it was just a good day.
Such a good day.
It was a good day.
They came in, we did some paperwork. He had to do some paperwork. They fitted him for his little bracelet. I'm just here. I had to sign paperwork. Mm-hmm. And they kind of gave us the rundown, and then they left. It seemed like they were here a long time, which it was a good amount of time, but when they left, we just kind of looked at each other and
smiled, and it was just stupid.
Almost like the two kids that are young and have a crush, and they're like looking at each other from across the room like, can we hug? Can we? Because we've had trailers and been unsupervised in the trailer, but that's still on DOC property. Yeah. We had not been anywhere that we were not monitored.
In a long time, in over 20.
In that long.
In a quarter century, basically.
Where we were actually by ourselves. Now, mind you, we did still have the ankle bracelet on, and so we knew we were still monitored, but like, we were just by ourselves.
It was an out of sight, out of mind thing. Like, that was prison's not out of sight, out of mind, but the ankle bracelet was. So we would actually forget about it after probably the second day or something. I wouldn't even feel it on my ankle no more. Yeah. And the only time it was an issue was when I wanted to go somewhere. But other than that, I was home, and it was dope.
And we just started living. Like, we jumped right in.
We did.
We had some super crazy fun times, and then right away, we kind of had some moments that were a little uncertain with.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a little bit later. But that was a super quick, for me, that was a super low really quickly, because it was unsuspected. Yeah. Unexpected.
Yeah.
But it also was the first time that I ever had a really like life-changing situation happen to me personally, where he was physically able to like comfort me and be there, a physical support in person. Yeah. Like, I've never really had that. And if it does happen, it's like I'm still having residual feelings, but the initial things already happened. Right. And I'll see you and we can, cuddle or whatever. But I've never like had to, I've never had the opportunity to have a struggle like that and go through it with you. And that one came literally month one of you being home. And we've kind of just been, dealing with it ever since. But that was a moment that let me know, like, yeah, girl, your life's different. Like, you are not by yourself. You have a partner. And even you were like, yeah, you need to tell me that stuff. Like, I need to be in on this. Like, keep me updated. I was just always just so used to just operating. And, like, I'd keep him in the loop. But not really on stuff that I didn't think he could do much for.
Well, I think that, and that kind of gave you the ability to have these type of problems or things that affected you and just be on autopilot because you couldn't divulge certain things or we weren't in the position to. So you just had to keep it to yourself, and then that made you go on autopilot because you had to get through the day, you had to get through the week, you had things you had to do. You couldn't think about it.
Yeah.
And for a minute there was a time where you were still kind of doing that. And you still kind of do it a little bit, but not with major stuff. Like major stuff,
it's getting easier.
Yeah, but you still kind of, when something happens, you kind of go into autopilot, and you have to remind yourself, like, wait, but I need to talk about this, or I need to, speak to him about this. And so
interesting.
I've been noticing how much more you do it now versus then. So that's why it's noticeable.
Okay, do you feel like now that you notice it more, do you feel like, okay, I like that? Like, I like that she's telling me that? Or do you feel like sometimes, like, stop talking to me so much?
No, because, well, yeah, I do feel that. But at the same time, I'm just playing. What you got to understand is that there's a role here, and if you don't do those things, then that role's not being fulfilled.
Yeah.
And unfulfilled roles, unfulfilled potential is like, everybody knows, like one of the most tragic things in the world. Like, you can't just have a person here just playing an empty role. And so I do the same thing with you. Like, you're still to this day kind of telling me, because I usually operate in solo mode. Like, I have it in here and I keep it in here, and that's how I do. And so you've been helping me be more communicative in the way that, you know what I'm saying, just kind of set forward. Because as a couple, you start to notice that you have to lay these bricks down. To be on that road that you're going to walk on, you got to lay these bricks down where you can do that. If I tell her, and she helps me lay these bricks, and I ain't tell her nothing, then we walking on the dirt road. I know that don't make sense to y'all, but as long as when y'all get to know me, you'll get to know that this does make sense. Now, not being communicative in a relationship, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. And communication goes both ways. You got to listen as much as you talk. And so what I've been learning is that with all the talking that you have to do with the things that affect you, I had to become a better listener. You know what I'm saying? When I used to have to listen to you before, I said it the wrong way. When I used to listen to you before,
that's how I felt too.
When I listened to you before, because I knew that he wasn't giving you the whole story. It was like, you give me that little bit, and I was like, okay, you good, babe? Okay, and then we move on. Here now, it's like, no, I want to deal with this, because I want to be sure that I be the catalyst that helps my wife get over this.
And he does such a good job at that.
That's where we're at.
I'm really, like, you would think that since we only had phones to talk, we only had writing to talk for so long, that our communication would be top notch.
No.
We are having to learn how to communicate a whole different way, and about way more things. We talk a lot about our feelings. Like, I feel like those things, we have that covered. We have had years to talk about how we feel, kind of how we process, those kind of things. What we have not had to talk about is just how we operate daily on an everyday basis.
Right.
And we operate very differently. And even though we thought that we knew that and we're preparing, you have your time, I do my time, we do our thing. Like, we had that planned.
You can't prepare for that.
Because, for one, you can't prepare for it because we don't even know what's coming.
Right.
But two, we can't prepare because both of us want to be up under each other all the time. And now we have the opportunity where we can. So that's also like, well, do we be up under each other, or do we get our stuff done? Like, we're having to figure out what that looks like.
Yeah, that's the thing that's still going on.
That's still going on.
Probably still going to be going on a year from now, just so you know, because we like to be in each other's space.
We do.
Yeah.
We haven't had that for so long. I mean, and we're newlyweds too, but newlyweds already like that, but we're newlyweds and newly together. Like, newly just...
Everything's new.
I can just touch you when I want to.
Don't hit me, though.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, so we're working that. We're working through that. I really feel like, though, babe, this is going to be a lot of therapy for us, because this podcast.
Why?
Because I think, well, for one, we're only going to talk about things that we can talk about, which are things that we live and life. And there's a lot that we've recently decided or have come up or realized that we have things from the past that we have dealt with, but maybe need to deal with more. Mm-hmm. But then also going forward, we've had a lot of things we picked up along the way that we're like, oh, that's a problem. Or, oh, we should examine that.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
COVID. I'm going to need you to get that together while we're on camera. Don't be coughing in front of the camera. This is a professional.
I was trying to wait till you got done talking.
Oh.
Which didn't happen for a long time.
Oh.
Before I did that.
Because I'm the long-winded one. Anyway. You okay?
Yeah, I was a hard to hold. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't hold it, babe. Let it out.
No, because I don't want you to do less editing. So I was letting you get the sentence out, and then...
You see that? Don't worry about this, babe. I got it.
Okay.
You cough. All right, so moving forward, we went right into wedding planning. Well, I had been in wedding planning mode. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd started planning this wedding last July.
Yeah.
If not sooner.
Yeah.
So I'd already been kind of in wedding planning mode. I'd been to the venue. I had already paid the deposits for the venue. We already decided, like, a lot of the things that we were going to do for the wedding. And so we were just going through it. Pandemic and wedding planning. Mm-hmm. Not really a fun thing. Didn't really love that for me. Was not good. It was very up and down. It was back and forth. We're in Washington State, and so we were the epicenter for COVID when it first started. Like, everybody was coming from here. And then our state, like, shut down. Then we started to reopen. Then we shut down again. And every time they'd have a reopen, shut down, or we're going back a phase, or we're jumping up a phase, that would change how we could proceed with this wedding.
Yeah.
So, what?
No, I was about to say, because the wedding is supposed to be in July 30th.
Yeah.
And we were in May and still didn't know what we were going to do.
In May, y'all.
The plan was we had set tax day, April 15th, as the day. If it wasn't open, then we were canceled.
Because that was, the governor was going to tell us that day.
The governor's going to tell us.
Then he extended it 2 more weeks.
Yes, and then we extended it, and we went into the month of May kind of in the air.
Because here's why this was so stressful, is because we already paid the deposit for the venue and we paid the deposit for the food. So those 2 are the biggest expenses, and no matter what, we were going to have to pay the other half. Mm-hmm. So the venue, no matter what, you pay that half of what it's a fixed price. The food could have been adjusted based on if the numbers changed. So we went from being able to invite 150 people to them saying we only could have 35 people at one point, and then it went up to 50 people. We ended up having about 85, 90 that showed up. We'll tell you more about that in a second. But the reason we kept hemming and hawing, because we were like, well, why am I going to pay all this money to feed 50 people when that amount of people, we could have that at the house. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to do all this extra stuff. And at that point, losing the deposit on the venue would have still saved us. It would have been worth it, you know? Yeah. So we're back and forth. And I literally was at the point where I was like, babe, let's just bump it. Let's just focus on babies, and that's it. We won't even do the official wedding. We'll just courthouse it and call it good. And babe was like, what'd you say?
I basically was like, listen, this isn't God's plan. There ain't nothing about to stop it. I honestly felt that in my heart. I wasn't even trying to be like the positive God. I just felt like in that moment, I was home. I had came home earlier than expected. Mm-hmm. I got home a whole year earlier than expected.
A whole year early.
A lot of things was kind of happening in our favor in terms of like me already having a job when I came home and having some money and being able to do some things that I wanted to do. Point I'm making is that it was just like, I knew that I was living a life that a lot of cats didn't live, so I was like, we're blessed. I'm not about to sit up here and be like, well, we're not going to have the wedding, when God is showing me that we're so blessed, it's ridiculous in every other aspect of our lives. So when it was like uncertainty there, I was like, this uncertainty is not a God, so we're going to have it. It's going to happen. If you want it, we're going to have it.
And what did you say to me, though, about wanting it?
I don't remember.
He was really sweet because I was on the, like I said, on the brink of just like, this is not worth it. Let's just cancel it. And he was just like, no, like, you deserve this day. You've been wanting this day. You've been planning this day. Like, this is your day, and you're gonna have it. And then I was just like, okay, let's do it. And I had it.
You had it.
I had it, y'all. We get to the wedding. Now that's in July, but all the way, what we haven't told y'all is from May through July, we had the bright idea to hire a friend of ours to do our basement.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot to do a basement remodel while we're planning a surprise wedding. That was the other thing I don't think we told y'all. If you don't watch our YouTube, which please go visit, SpiceLifeTv, you'll see that we had a surprise wedding. And so everybody that was coming was under the pretense that they were coming for a welcome home freedom party for Creed.
For this guy.
So it was going to be a surprise party for him that he was in on. So all of my family, all of my friends, his friends, everybody thought they were coming to surprise Creed at this party.
Yes.
And so originally we had been planning to redo our basement, and we were redoing our yard. And so I had said, oh, we're just going to have a celebration party for Creed at the house, especially when we thought we were going to have to cancel the venue. So I thought, well, we could just kind of do them all together and do it here at the house if we had to, have his party, all that thing. We knew that. Nobody else knew that. Everybody else just thought, oh, they're going to have a party at the house. Well, then once we realized how many people we could have because the city opened back up and we could raise our limit again, that was going to be way too many people coming in and out through here. Yeah. I didn't need no 85, 90 people coming in and out of my house.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Especially our people, because they can be a lot.
Yeah.
So we end up, going to the venue or whatnot. But planning a wedding is already crazy. Planning a surprise wedding, even more crazy. And then planning a surprise wedding in a pandemic, that's the max level of crazy. Now, what did we do? We took it up a notch by doing renovation to our house.
A whole renovation. Like, we're talking about demo and basically creating a room.
A whole space and our whole outside. The fence, the yard, pavers, the all of the stuff.
There was not a moment to rest.
And it wasn't even, this was all me. Like, I think what happened was, I've been waiting for this man to come home to do all the things. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And as soon as I got him, we did all the things.
Here's another thing. Here's a little tidbit that you forgot to mention. You're planning a wedding. You're planning a surprise wedding. Planning a surprise wedding in the pandemic with a home renovation going on, and all this is happening, and I'm still on an ankle bracelet. So I can't leave the house.
He can't just go to the store for me.
I can't go to the
venue.
Dump.
He can't go to the venue. He can't go just to the tasting. If it's just like, he has to plan his schedule a week in advance.
Actually, a week and a half.
A week and a half in advance. You have to write it out, literally hour by hour, where you're going to be.
And for a guy who's been incarcerated and his days are basically planned for him, it was hard for me to plan out a day. Like, I think a lot of times I just put work and gym on there, and that was all I did.
Yeah, and I often have to be like, no, you got to get gas, or no, you got to go here, or we got to make a doctor's appointment. So there was no spontaneity.
No.
It was all planned. So doing all of that, and still, he helps as much as he can where he can, and if we could plan it ahead, he would take care of it. But a lot of it was still on me. I had to do a lot of stuff because I had to. While we're doing the renovation, I had to do all the dump runs with his friend because he wasn't able to go. A lot of times I had to go with his friend to pick up the materials because he wasn't able to go. We could use his truck. He just couldn't drive the truck to go get it.
Yeah. That was a trip.
So it was a lot. And even though we were so excited and had so much fun this summer, we had the wedding. And then I think I just shut down.
Yeah, because we was running on fumes, especially
literally fumes, and especially I'm still having a hard time catching up to that. It just it's just it was a lot going on, because even before you came home, I'm still wedding planning and also preparing for you to come home. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot that goes into that, which I think people have no idea. But it's been 2 years solid of working towards for this moment, and I literally burnt the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
And it was all worth it. I had the most beautiful day.
It was a gorgeous wedding.
Beautiful day, beautiful wedding, great people. My man is home, and I just absolutely adore him to death. But yeah, it's taking a toll on your girl. So I've been chilling and laying low, and we've just kind of been slowly getting our footing again.
You see how long it took you to end that sentence right there? That's what I'm talking about. So the reason why I wanted to end the sentence is because I am home. But that's the prize right there. So I'm finally home, got the prize. So imagine how I feel, and it was like...
Can you hand me that card?
This one?
Yeah.
To be home and to just not have to worry about nothing but your prize. It was such a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. And to know that you're about to have this wedding and you're cohabitating and you're doing everything. Mm-hmm. A lot of times the hard stuff just didn't sit with me in terms of paying attention and saying we have to nip that in the bud, because it was kind of like, that's nothing. That's just passing fancy. We got all this stuff to do. We're going to do it. And then when we were done, all that stuff was catching up.
Yeah.
I
mean, because even with like the house remodel, we killed ourselves, especially like that last 2 weeks, because we had family coming. Did you not tell me my eyelash was it off the whole time?
What?
My eyelash?
No.
My eyelash was just waving in the wind.
No.
Okay. I felt it because I was fanning myself. So that last 2 weeks was really hard because we had family coming in that was staying with us for this wedding. And so we were just night and day, basement. If he was gone and not home, I'm painting, trying to do whatever. When he was home, he'd come right from his physical labor job to then do another 2 or 3, 4 hours downstairs in the basement. Yeah. So we killed ourselves, and we finished it to where it looked done enough for guests to come and feel like, okay, this is a good space. Mm-hmm. I know what's all not done. He knows what's all not done.
Yeah.
And we've kind of made some headway, but when I tell you, when we put that hammer down, because we were done, we put that hammer down.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is that it's such a labor of love that we have probably, let's just say, 10 small things that need to be done down there still, but not paying attention to the 4 big things that we've already done, which was like the major hurdle. Mm-hmm. It was like creating the walls and the ceiling that wasn't there when we started, and the floor, just stuff like that. The painting, which you did. Of it, basically.
The house is old, so nothing is square. Nothing works right.
Square
None
level
of the plugs work.
Yeah, it's just so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did our thing, and so going down there now, you go down in the basement and you like
love it. You feel like this is nice, but we know
dope.
there's some areas we still got to work on.
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
But it's cool though.
I think that's the other thing that I've had to really work on is just like, girl, slow down. It's not a rush. He's here now. Y'all can take your time. But, talking to just my other friend about this recently, she was like, girl, that's your trauma. Like, the trauma of being with someone incarcerated for so long and him being snatched up like he was snatched up. Me being just wanting to be like all over you all the time, or just not wanting you to be away from me too long, or all of those things are just because, we had to deal with that for so long. So we're just overcoming a lot.
Yeah.
We're overcoming a lot. So August comes.
I married my stalker. Go ahead.
You got a lot of nerve talking about someone stalking somebody.
Why?
Who stalked who for 20-something years?
I stalked the fuck out of you.
Out of prison stalking me.
Yeah,
Get off my phone. Leave me alone.
Where you at?
I got things to do.
How many times you get off at 5 and get a phone call from me at 5:01?
No, I get a call at 4:59 talking about you ain't in the car. Fool, I haven't even checked out yet. I haven't even told them I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Yeah. On the phone, in my face. I had like, leave me alone.
No, you didn't. You never did. You never did that.
Oh, but I wanted to.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Ooh.
Yeah, you knew what's up. You know I was coming home.
Yeah.
You knew I was coming home.
So August came, and guess what happened in August?
Your birthday.
Leo Nation, and your girl turned. Wait, how do you do it on the? Is it this way or this way?
Yeah, there you go.
4.
No, the other way.
4 0. The big 4-0, y'all. Just had a big old wedding, and then had a birthday party
Here.
Mm-hmm. Why? 2 weeks after, a surprise wedding.
Yeah,
because it was my 40th.
Yeah.
We kept it small. It was just family, which small is still like 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
But it was great. My auntie came and baked cakes.
She did. She baked 3?
3.
Yeah,
she had 3 cakes. Babe barbecued.
Yeah.
We worked really hard on our yard. We'd set up the gazebo. We had the fire pit. We had the seating tables. We had the basement done so people could go from the outside into the basement watching the game and back up. Like, it was just, it was
we got all the lights strung
all
up.
the lights. It was gorgeous. And
Yeah,
we had a great time. And then September, pretty chill. Anything
September was the month that we caught up with people from the wedding that we planned. So every weekend, we had something to do in September.
Up to in September. And a lot of the weekends up till the wedding. Because, he's home. People want to see him. People want to meet him. People we just want to connect with. Like, so we're always having things to do. And then September we kind of put everything off in July because we knew we had the house and the wedding. September was makeup time with everybody. Mm-hmm. So we had stuff going on the Saturday and the Sunday of the weekend, plus stuff during the week. Like, it was just a lot.
And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I appreciate my weekends. And so when that was happening, it was like, it was too much. I love my people.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. It ain't nothing about that. It's just I like my downtime to be able to recover and go back to work.
We're introverts.
Yeah.
We're outgoing introverts. So our downtime is very, very critical. Like, we need it. And even though I know how bad I need my downtime, it made it clear to me a couple times when I would see Creed literally like standing in the corner like, this is just too much. Too many people, it's too loud, too many kids. Sometimes he would just disappear, and he'd tell me later he's outside outside on the side of the house where the garbages and stuff were, just so nobody could find him.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my cue, like, okay, let's slow it down and not be so busy. Like, we don't have to fill every second. And if people invite us, we don't have to say yes to everything.
That was hard at first.
Because it wasn't like I felt obligated. It was almost just FOMO. Like, I've missed out on so much. I just want to, like, let's go. They invite us. Let's do it. That's kind of where I was. Knowing good and well, I don't like doing nothing.
No, you don't.
As soon as I say yes, I want to find a way out of it. As soon as I say yes.
Yeah.
So we slowed down there. Mm-hmm. And then we rolled into Pookie's first birthday home.
That was a dope birthday.
Yes.
I had a good birthday.
He shares the same birthday as my best friend, my cousin, Ty.
Yeah, that's my guy.
They have the same birthday.
That's my guy.
And they're both big seafood eaters, just eat big foodies, period.
So what did you do?
My boy Tyler had told me he's never had king crab. Had you had king crab before?
No, I hadn't.
They both had never had king crab. And they are big seafood eaters, which to me was like, how I understand you, but I still don't understand him.
No.
Free as the sun is long. The day is long, sorry. But so I went to Costco and stocked up and hooked them up with a ultimate seafood boil.
You did.
Inspired by B Loves Life herself, because I use her sauce. I got them the lobster tails. I got them the shrimps with the shells on them. Potatoes. Scallops. Did I say lobster tail?
Did you have mussels?
No, we didn't have mussels.
Something else that we... Shrimp? Did you have shrimp?
I said shrimp. So shrimp, lobster, king crab, scallops, potatoes.
Corn.
No, we didn't do corn.
We were missing something.
There's
one more thing.
I don't know. The sauce? Maybe it was the dipping sauce.
It could have been.
Or the drinks? Yeah. Anyway, I put it on this big platter. Y'all know mukbang style. I put it on this big platter. I had the crab legs like, around the side, and then I had the lobsters. They each got 2 lobsters, and it was a fortune. A small fortune in seafood, but so worth it because, for one, they thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've been waiting to throw you a birthday party forever, and he didn't really want a birthday party, so this was the next best thing. But next year, I don't care if you want a birthday party, I'm throwing you one because I have this playing in my head.
What do you have in your head?
It is going to be the ultimate adult kid party. I'm talking obstacle courses, I'm talking games, I'm talking piñatas, I'm talking all the things.
You know what you're doing.
But on an adult level.
Everybody there is going to be over 40.
Yeah.
Maybe even over 50. And you're talking about all this interactive stuff. You're going to send people home with hurt backs, sprained ankles.
But it'll be so much fun.
Traction. Like,
we have all the things, babe. Because you know I have problems. We will have an inversion table lineup. People just do the obstacle course and then go get on the inversion table, and then we'll have someone do a massage real quick with the little.
You know what you could do? We could just roll it up. We could just roll it up.
We do that anyway.
Put it in the air. And go from there. I guarantee you everybody have a good time.
And they won't be hurt.
And they won't be hurt. They'll be chilling.
Like that idea.
I'm telling you.
So we had his little birthday party. That was just so great. Like.
And you bought me the Bo Jackson throwback jersey.
I did.
Which I've been wanting because at the time I got incarcerated, there was no such thing as a Bo Jackson throwback because...
He was still playing?
No, he wasn't playing, but he wasn't retired long enough to have a throwback. It was
gotcha.
You know? Yeah. I mean, you could get a Bo Jackson jersey, but it wasn't like the official throwback.
You didn't even wear it. You should have wore it today.
Yeah.
It's because you got the hat on.
I got the hat on. That's enough for right now for them to see. But y'all gonna see it soon. But she got me that jersey, and I had it on all day until it was time to eat that seafood. You know the seafood was gonna drip. So I took it off, and me and Tyler, we did our thing. We put a dent in it.
They did a pretty good job.
We put a dent in it.
And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think that's probably gonna be a tradition. It sounds like.
I'm with it.
But next year, y'all gonna put in on that.
I'm with it.
That shit's expensive. All that seafood.
Tyler.
No, they did. Y'all, everybody put in. But yeah, it's a lot. We jumped to Thanksgiving, November. Now, mind you, I told you my brother is getting married this year.
Yes.
So, which also, my brother was my officiant at our wedding. He married us.
He did.
And did such a good job. My sister, her and my sister-in-law, Leisha. So, Courtney, my sister, and Leisha, they both did such an amazing job helping me with just getting just the details.
Yeah, like they were constantly moving, constantly doing stuff. They were priceless.
They really were.
They really were.
And I honestly did not expect to need them like I did. Like they came in and just kind of took care of a situation that was like, thank you, because that'd have been a stress that I just didn't want. But anyway, now it's my brother's turn, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah. So
happy for him. And so he's getting married in December. Now, mind you, he met Leisha at the beginning of the pandemic. So I've only met her or like been around her physically like a handful of times. And so every time I see her, it's like I'm trying to soak up as much as I can because you about to be my sister and marry my brother and whoop-de-whoop. Well, this year, since we're going down there for the wedding on New Year's Eve, my brother normally comes up for Christmas. He's not going to do that. So they came up for Thanksgiving, and they asked to bring Leisha's parents because our family has not met Leisha's family. Me and my sister have because we've been down there, but because of the pandemic, people just ain't been traveling, and my family don't really go to California much anyway. So her parents came up for Thanksgiving, and so my brother asked me to host so that we could host her family. And of course, I was more than excited, like, hell yeah, I'll host. And it was Babe's first Thanksgiving. So I was going forward. I had been buying stuff, getting tables ready, ordered, and my food and my place settings. Like, I was going nuts because her parents are coming. And mind you, me and my brother and sister don't really have parents. So I wanted to make a good first impression and let them see, like, this is where my brother comes from. He ain't from just any old, whoop-de-wop. So I'm kind of going overboard and probably could have been like, stop. But that's just not how I do it. And I text Babe one morning. Did I text you a video of it? The refrigerator? Because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. He left for work, and it was right after he leaves. Some noise was like, and just got progressively louder and lasted for like 3 minutes. So, of course, it woke me up and made me come investigate. I realized it's the refrigerator. I record the sound, give it to babe. Refrigerator's still acting fine, and then that night he comes home or the next day and it does it again. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to check that out. But we both didn't really think anything that big about it because it kept stopping and then it was still working. And then what happened? I think, did you figure it out?
Yeah, it was late one night. I went to the kitchen to get something out of the refrigerator, and I came back in the bedroom and said, yeah, the refrigerator's done. Because it was like I opened the refrigerator and the water didn't even frost up. Like the water jug, it wasn't even frosty no more. It was just tepid. And is that the right term? Tepid? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lukewarm.
Oh, you stupid.
Yeah, kinda. So, the water in the refrigerator was all lukewarm, and then I opened the freezer, and the freezer was still working, which was weird.
Yeah, the freezer worked, but the refrigerator didn't.
So I went and told you that, and then now we're trying to plan a Thanksgiving dinner
away from Thanksgiving. Like this,
we're a week out.
Yeah, a week away.
Yeah, we're a week out.
And I'm thinking, okay, we're just gonna go get a refrigerator. Oh. You don't do that when you're in a pandemic. No. There's no going to get a refrigerator.
Even if you got a truck and the ability to bring it home yourself,
ain't no refrigerator to get, homie. You gonna have to wait. Yeah. They talking about 4 or 5 month wait for a new refrigerator, and we need a special size refrigerator because the space that was set up for the refrigerator, all of the new ones are oversized that.
Yeah.
So the space that we had available, we couldn't find a refrigerator to fit. And like I said, 4 to 5 month wait. Thanksgiving's coming. I'm stressing out trying to find a refrigerator and like researching. All of that is just a lot of work. And trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do. Are we going to get a fridge in time for Thanksgiving? We didn't. Long story short, we did not get a refrigerator in time. Good thing I have great family members, and my auntie came through, saved the day, let us host it at her house, which she had way more space.
And was happy to do it.
Yeah. Everybody, I still cooked what I was going to cook. Everybody made what they were going to bring, so it wasn't like she had to do everything. Mm-hmm. But still, having to get your house together for company, I know that's inconvenient, so I was so grateful. Leisha's family came. We all had a really good time. It was pretty chill. And honestly, it was kind of a blessing because when we came home, we just could come home. We didn't have to clean up stuff. Like, we just could be done. I was exhausted.
We had our plethora of leftovers.
We did.
And we was good.
But we had a plethora of leftovers with no refrigerator to keep them in. So what happened the next day? I go to get I had my mouth set for some of them cheesy, creamy mashed potatoes. And I opened the paper and I could smell the rot before it even...
Yeah.
It was not good. We should have put it outside because it's been cold enough outside.
Yeah. For real.
We should have put it outside in the car.
Garage.
Yeah. So anyway, we went through Thanksgiving without a refrigerator. And we went a whole 2 weeks after Thanksgiving almost without a refrigerator. A week?
A week after.
A week after, because we ended up having to, long story short, we got one. And I will tell you, not having one is really a first world problem, but it's hard to not have a refrigerator.
It's super hard.
Hard.
You ain't cooking because some of the stuff you need to be in the refrigerator, so we didn't have that.
Like, I had to get rid of all my condiments, y'all, because it wasn't like just a couple days. Like if it was 2 days, I probably could have, some things could have been okay. But this was now 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Everything, replacing all your condiments is expensive. All of your little things, like it's just a lot. Mm-hmm. So we had a great time able to spend our 2 days with family. We had Thanksgiving at K-Max, and then that Friday we just kind of had dessert and people over here, so we didn't need a refrigerator. And my brother, my cousins, we all had like a game night, like a family thing with all the kids. So that was cool. A lot of family time. We were exhausted. Kind of took the rest of the weekend to just kind of get our minds together, and then we just rolled into December. We knew we were going to do the podcast. We've been working on all that, the concepts, trying to get our logos together. Yeah. We found a studio. You'll probably see us after a couple episodes there. Mm-hmm. We'll start filming there at the beginning of the year. So we're making progress. Yeah. But I wanted to tell them some of your good news that you had today, if you want to tell.
Mm-hmm. Well, since I've been out, let me start at the beginning. Yeah. When I was locked up, still, there was this company that came into where I was working at while I was incarcerated to do mock interviews. And this company interviewed me and basically was like, I love you, interview great. And it was to teach inmates going home how to go through the interview process, how to search for a job. That was the premise of this whole mock interview process. So she was like, you interview great and we love you to come see us when you get out. And I was like, absolutely. And so I never forgot the lady's name or anything. And as soon as I hit the work release, I go straight to this place. And it's basically a cabinet company. And so I go to this place and I'm working in the warehouse because I was still in work release. So I couldn't do what I want to do, which was it would be like an install position and be going to different construction sites installing hollow metal doors and frames and whatnot. And so I'm in the warehouse working and I'm literally like loving the fact that I got a job, loving the fact that somebody took a chance on me out of prison, but hating where I was working. I was hating the work. I just didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I get out of work release. I transfer to what I really want to do, which is install. And I started that on June 7th.
Mind you, they love him there in the warehouse, in the install. Everywhere he's been there, they love him.
Yeah, they do.
Like, absolutely love him.
It's been pretty good. They've been good to me, and I definitely, put my best foot forward when I go to work. So I get the new job installing on June 7th. And my intention is like, listen, man, I'm home. I have a household that I need to run. I got a mortgage to pay. I need to get up and pay. And so the only thing I can do is, because they're taking a chance on me, is come out here, put my best foot forward, show them what I got, learn quickly, be at work, be dependable every day, just kind of like my normal nature. I did that, and I got a raise in August. Mm-hmm. And I was in 3 months in that job and got a raise. And basically,
but you had gotten a raise when you switched to that job too, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't. You
no, because I hadn't been there a year, remember? And I wanted to wait till August.
That's right.
So I was there a year to ask for a raise. And so they gave me a raise, and I was like, yes. And they was like, and because I travel a lot, they were like, we're going to reimburse you for half of your gas. And I was like, yes, this is great, And I was like, okay, now I can focus a little bit more on the job and not have to worry about money so much. And so I was like, okay. So since August 27th, I think it was, that I got the raise, since then till now, I just been working.
Hard, y'all.
And then today, when I was packing up on the way home, I get a call from my boss. And my boss was just like singing praises and saying that he appreciates my hard work, appreciates a lot of stuff that I do that a lot of people don't. And he was just like, I'm just going to give you another raise. And so he gave me another raise. And then on top of that says, I'm going to reimburse you for all your gas, not just half of it. So, we're talking a living wage. We're talking about a wage that is not coming home from prison wage. It's a wage that a lot of people out here want.
It's a wage that took me for years to get to, which I'm kind of a little butthurt about that. Yeah. But, it's my pockets too. When baby eat, I eat.
It's definitely your pockets too. So, yeah, I'm feeling good, And the thing is, with a guy that comes from my position, I have a very old school mentality in terms of like money is always an issue with me. And so when this happened, when I got my first raise, there was a confidence factor that set in. There was a little bit of confidence in that, you're on the right track and you're going the right direction, and you're taking care of your lady, or at least you're helping at this point. Then with this raise, it's like, I've never, ever in my life, even when I was doing something negative, I've never put my best foot forward and not succeeded. It's never, ever happened. So I knew when I started this, that this is the track I want to go with this job. This is how I want to move up. And it's worked again. But at the same time, it's the only way to do things. Mm-hmm. I know how to go to a job. I know how to do things like reinvent a position. I know how to go into the job and learn quickly. I know how to go into a job and do things that certain other people aren't doing. I know how to pay attention to those things. And those things have been beneficial to me in terms of getting me some coin. It's been beneficial with me in wanting, the bosses always wanted me around. And he even told me today, like, I'll always have a position at that company. So it's just been a great day. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's how life for us has been since I come home.
It's so true.
And a lot of times we don't pay attention to it because, like you say, we've been so busy in fighting this fight to put together all the stuff that we've been trying to, the wedding and, the renovations and all that. We've been fighting to make sure that goes good. And God had us the whole time.
You know, it's because, babe, and this, like, y'all, please know, these are not things we're being braggadocious about, and it's not anything we're taking personal credit for.
No.
Like, this is all God doing it for us, because we know we couldn't actually do this without him. Like, literally could not. But he really just takes good care of us. Yeah. And I think the reason he shows us so much favor is because we work. We're not sitting here waiting for life to happen for us. No. Like, you have to put in the work. You have to work while you're waiting for the blessing. And we have done that. Like, and the working the waiting is the hardest part, because you're working so hard, but you're waiting and not knowing what you're waiting for, not knowing why you're working so hard, but you just know, like, this is the formula. You work hard, you stay after it, and you play the long game. And our long game is extremely long. I feel like we've played the longest of the long game. But now we're getting a lot of quick wins, babe.
Yeah, it's returns basically.
They are the return on the investment, and they happen so fast that it takes me sometimes a little while to be like, oh my God, this is just amazing. Like, it takes me a while to process it, but once I like peep it, and I'm being able to peep it faster, because it's literally like, we'll talk about it. We just had this conversation this week, and you came up with the raise today.
Well, not only that, remember that there was something that you wanted to do in a different field, and you talked to me about it, and then the very next day, a guy called you and said, hey, we've been considering you for this position.
Right.
And it was
I didn't even know.
And it was like, you already had the position. The only thing you had to do was say you wanted it, and then it was already done for you. So yeah, you're right. We're not being braggadocious at all. Please understand that.
Know that.
We're just saying that these things are happening not because of us, but in spite of us, basically, because we out here living life like everybody else, and we don't always do it the right way. But God just kind of like, he'd be like, no, I just need to stay, come back over here. Just this is the path.
I think the key is that we've gotten better at listening to him, and noticing when he's switching our direction.
Yeah, definitely.
That, I think, was the hardest part for me for so long, is because I wouldn't quite understand that's what he was telling me to do. I didn't recognize his voice as well. And just growing your relationship with him, you do recognize that a lot quicker and easier. And I'm just so grateful that I can totally be like, no, God is telling me that. And sometimes when I'm talking to you, it is like, I know that he's the one telling me this, because I hadn't even thought of this before, but it came out like I had been planning this for days.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like, but it just rolls out, and the plan is there, and we're just like walking in this plan that he's literally laying out for us. It's exciting, y'all. It's so exciting.
It's pretty dope. And that's where we're at right now. I mean, and trust me, y'all, as much talking as we've been doing, we left out a lot.
We did.
So please understand that that's how busy life has been. But we're here to give you guys life as we live it, and it more abundantly, and kind of like give you our experience, because what I went through with my job, that's part of reentry. A lot of times when God be in prison, he's doing the positive thing in prison. He expecting those positive things that he does in prison to reap benefits as soon as he comes home, right? So he's taking the classes, and he's getting the knowledge, and he's getting the trade skills, and then he come home and he thinks he wants to get this job that's going to pay top dollar. And so part of the reentry thing is understanding that when you come from behind those walls, that there's still work that has to be done, no matter how much you did in there. That's part of reentry. A lot of people think the work is done when you get out. So those are the different aspects of the reentry that we want to kind of bring in, because it's looked at a totally different way, reentry that is.
Oh, yeah.
Than people really think it is. Like, people don't even understand the little intricate parts of reentry.
And it's way more than just getting a job, finding a place to live.
It's a lot more than that.
It's so much more detailed to that. And the relationship part, I feel, is an aspect that is not talked about. And I'm not just talking about relationship as like me and him, man and wife. But you coming back into families or settings that are already established, and now you're having to acclimate,
yeah,
and come into a new normal that's already been kind of dictated for you, but like finding your footing, and us finding our footing. I think a lot of times just how to repair relationships, how to feed them, how to grow them, all of those things are not really things people learn.
No.
Or are taught. And especially when you've been away, there's sometimes some atonement you have to do. There's some bridges you have to rebuild. But anyway, what I was just saying is that the relationship part will be us kind of just talking about how the relationships are affected that you left, that you're coming back to, that you might need to leave now, like all of those things. So we want to hear from you guys. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have scenarios, if you have situations, whether someone is currently locked up and coming home soon, have come home soon, if you're the wife or the girlfriend, whatever the case, let us know, because we know that this is hard. We've been through all the things. So give us some material that we can help y'all with.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we're here for y'all. You know, we're not here just to run our mouths. We're here to actually offer a little bit. Actually offer help and assistance and guidance and just feedback. Because sometimes that's what you need. You just need somebody to kind of bounce stuff off of.
Because we're learning too. We're planning to learn from y'all and hoping y'all can see what we're going through and be like, yeah, I went through that, or try this, or you've already done that. That's why I'm excited to see what else y'all can share with us. But that's kind of where we are with it. We are going into 2022 very optimistic, very happy, very in love, very in like. Yeah. I really like you a lot today.
You my girl. You my chick.
Yeah.
My best friend
that raise did not hurt. Because you know mama like.
You know I was the same dude before I got the raise.
Yeah, but
this morning when I left.
She just automatically wants to clap when it happens. When you start making them bands. When them bands will make her dance. Like that's how it goes. So
that's what's up.
2021, we are excited. We're excited to be here with you guys. Till the Wheels Fall Off podcast. We just finished episode 1 and you guys were with us. Dope. Spice Rack, Pookie Pack. We will see you every week on Thursdays. The Till the Wheels Fall Off podcast. You will find us on all the different sites that you listen to podcasts on. But you will also be able to find our visual podcast on my YouTube channel, SpiceLifeTv. I'll put that down here. If you want to watch us do this, feel free to do that on that, and we'll post that on Thursdays as well.
We'll be here.
Here.
Will you?
Oh, they're gonna be here.
They'll be here.
The Spice Rack, they know when to show up. Now you might need to get these Pookie Packs together, because the Spice Rack know what to do.
Anybody follow me fall right in line anyway, so I ain't worried about it.
Please like him. You like him, y'all. He's really nice. He's not he is like this, but he's likable too.
I am likable.
Be likable.
That was likable. They like that.
Y'all, until next time, we will see you then. Thank you for being here so much, and we'll see you next time.